What's good, fam? Drake might have just hit a new low. Like, forget the not like us meme moments, forget the charts, forget all the PR spins. Nah, this latest move, this one's showing us who he really is. And honestly, it's sad to watch, bro. Because after Kendrick came through and flattened the man in front of the whole world on wax, on stage, in his own city, instead of standing tall, instead of tapping back in with the music, instead of making a real move, Drake dipped to Houston and popped out like some lost sidekick at a country concert. On stage, arm in arm, with Morgan freaking Wallen. Let me say that again. Drake, the so-called face of the culture, the king of the six, Mr. Started from the bottom, just popped out in another city, standing next to a man who got caught on tape saying the N-word, banned from award shows, blacklisted by radio at one point, and who still got one of the most controversial reputations in the whole music industry. And Drake didn't just go to the show. He walked on stage with him, all smiles, cheesin', looking more excited than he did next to 21, next to Wayne, next to damn near anybody. And that alone, that tells me everything I need to know. But hold on, we ain't even got to the most embarrassing part yet. Cause the only reason Drake even in Houston right now doing this little buddy act is because he just took the biggest L of his career in Toronto and he don't know how to cope. Now before we continue, don't forget to stay till the end and listen to today's drop. Here's a snippet.
ESPN confirmed it. They brought the light. This ain't blog talk, it's broadcast my top booked in a 6, but cooked in a 6. Stadium lit, but you ghost in the mix. They scream not like us.
Now let's get into it. Let's take it back for a sec. Kendrick Lamar came through with 2 sold-out nights at the Rogers Center. Back-to-back, whole stadium packed. And not just regular fans. Canadian politicians showed up. Not like us turned into a national anthem. You could hear the bass from blocks away. Whole city chanting, "You not like us?" And guess who was missing? Drake, dead silent, no tweet, no post, no reaction, just crickets. And now we know why bro was behind the scenes trying to shut the whole show down. Yep, according to an article from Anscape, and just so we clear, this ain't no gossip blog, Anscape is owned by ESPN. This is real media, real reporters saying that Drake's camp tried to cancel Kendrick's Toronto shows, allegedly made calls trying to block both nights, just to free up the venue for OVO Fest. You feel that? That's not strategy. That's not business. That's desperation. Because if you the so-called king of the six, you don't need to sabotage nobody. You let your work speak. You show and prove. But instead, Drake out here doing ops moves in the background, trying to cancel shows like a Karen with a clipboard. And the craziest part, it didn't work. Kendrick still showed up, still rocked the stadium, still delivered 2 legendary nights. And guess what? Drake has never solo headlined that venue. Never. Man been repping Toronto his whole career, but K-Dot came through and did what he couldn't twice. That's why this L hit different. And when them attempts to cancel failed, when the city ain't fold for him, that's when Drake disappeared, left his own city. And now, he in Houston, showing love to the most controversial white man in music. You can't make this up. It's like bro went from God's plan to Clout's plan. Now, let's be real. This ain't about music taste. You can like country. You can respect other genres. But you ain't finna tell me this moment ain't calculated. You ain't finna tell me it's just coincidence that Drake, right after catching a body blow from Kendrick, ran to Texas, popped out with Morgan Wallen, and started performing for a whole different fan base. This man is testing a rebrand right in front of us because he knows his grip on hip-hop slipping. The bars ain't hitting no more. The fans ain't riding like they used to. The new generation ain't scared of him, and Kendrick just reminded everybody that he don't run the culture no more. So now he trying to pivot, but he pivoting into the gutter, into the arms of somebody who got caught saying some of the worst shit imaginable. That's who Drake chose to share the stage with, to embrace publicly. That's the new alignment, and you wonder why You Not Like Us hit so hard. This whole situation feel like that moment when the popular kid gets exposed at prom, and instead of apologizing or fixing his image, he just runs to the next town over and starts hanging with anybody who still laughs at his jokes. It's pathetic. It's weak. And the sad part, Drake probably think it's a power move. He really out here thinking, they don't want me in the 6? Bet, I'll go rock with the Morgan crowd. Like that ain't the most shameless thing we ever seen from a rapper of his status. This ain't legacy. This ain't confidence. This is insecurity with a microphone. And the worst part, this shit got long-term consequences. Because whether Drake want to accept it or not, hip-hop sees this. The fans see it, the artists see it. Ain't no way you can go back to the culture after this and act like nothing happened. You ain't standing on business, you ducking smoke and linking with culture vultures, and we just getting started. If you made it this far, You already know this ain't just gossip. This is history unfolding. So don't just watch from the sidelines. Drop a comment and let me know. Did Drake officially fall off with this move? Or is he really playing chess we can't see? Hit that like so more folks see what's really going on out here. And subscribe if you tired of the fake narratives. We speaking truth every time. No fluff, no industry lies. And trust me, it gets even messier. Stay locked in, fam. This rabbit hole goes deep. Next up, we talking about how this Morgan Wallen moment might destroy more than just Drake's image. It might actually shift the industry's perception of him forever. Stick around because it only gets wilder from here. So boom, Drake ran. That's the truth. Not from just one diss, not from one city, but from the entire identity he built for over a decade. Mr. I Run the Six is now in Houston, hugging country singers for relevance. And I ain't talking like, oh, he experimenting. Nah, this is desperation. You can smell it off the screen. Think about how wild this is. Kendrick didn't even diss this man again. He ain't drop another song. He ain't even say his name. But the impact of one tour stop, 2 nights in the Rogers Center, sent Drake spiraling. Instead of bouncing back with bars, he linked up with Morgan Wallen, a man who literally embodies everything Kendrick been warning us about. The disrespect ain't even subliminal anymore. It's bold. It's not even about Morgan's controversies specifically. Although trust, that's a whole storm in itself. It's the statement Drake is making just by standing next to him. After catching heat for ducking Kendrick, now you want to pop out grinning next to the face of culture vulturing? Like, bruh, who do you even stand for anymore? And yo, this ain't just Drake looking goofy. This got real weight, cause now it ain't just fans clowning. Hip hop culture as a whole is turning its back. This ain't just about bars, this is about character, about how you carry yourself when your back's against the wall. And Drake, he folding like a beach chair. Back in the day, when legends took an L, they stood on it. They came back harder. Think Nas, think Hov, think even Meek after back-to-back. But Drake, instead of cooking up a real response, he out here trying to rebrand himself through country aesthetics. What's next? A Morgan Wallen ex-Drake album called Not Like Y'all? And this why Kendrick's diss aged like fine wine. Every bar sound more true now than when he dropped it. He not like us? Nah, he really not. We see it clearer than ever. You had every opportunity to respond on wax. Every tool, every studio, but instead you flew south and hitched your image to somebody that the hip-hop community don't even acknowledge. That's not chess. That's not strategy. That's coping. That's someone who's not trying to get back in the game. He just trying to be seen by whoever's still watching. And what's crazy, Drake used to be the tastemaker. He made careers just by co-signing. You remember how he put on Block Boy JB, the Migos, even Party Next Door? His name used to mean something, but now he chasing clout from a whole other lane that never even cared about rap. And you can tell he don't even look confident in it. He looking around for approval like, y'all like this, right? Nah, bro, we don't. Now let's talk about Toronto, the Six, his so-called kingdom. That silence was deafening. After Kendrick's shows, not one venue, not one politician, not one local artist spoke up to defend Drake. The Blue Jays curved him. The Rogers Center kept it pushing. That's not just business. That's symbolic. That's your hometown saying, we riding with the real. And to make it even worse, Drake got a history of pushing other artists out of the spotlight, blocking venues, shifting release dates, streaming on Kai's Twitch to steal headlines, but none of it worked this time. Cause the people, they chose, and it wasn't him. Now he out here moving like a man who don't know who he is anymore. That CLB lover boy shtick played out. The fake mob boss persona from Her Loss, worn thin, and now the country crossover Drake. Man, it's sad. Real talk. It feel like watching Superman try to dress like Batman, hoping folks forget he got no powers left. So where does that leave us? With Drake slowly becoming what every critic feared he might be, a shell of a superstar, more focused on optics than output, more interested in clickbait than competition. Kendrick didn't have to outshine him, he just had to show up. And that alone cracked the entire illusion Drake built. Because here's the truth, fam. When your clout outlasts your credibility, the clock starts ticking. And for Drake, that ticking getting louder by the day. If you rock with the truth and you tired of the fake love running the industry, make sure you hit that like button so the algorithm knows real ones still watching. Drop a comment below. Do you think Drake can ever bounce back from this? Or is it curtains for good? And most importantly, share this video with somebody who still think Drake run the six. Because at this point, the only thing he running from is reality. And if you ain't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that too. We breaking it all down every time the mask slips. Stay tapped in.
He booked the six, but the city cooked his whole career. You can't cancel presence, boy. Yeah. Try to block a legend, thought you run the turf, but power don't answer when you lacking worth. Rogers lit up, too nice like fire. Whole city chant, you slipped in the mire. Called for a switch, trying to shuffle the frame, but destiny hit and burned your name. Booked in a 6, you got cooked in a 6. Now it's backlash loops and narrative flips. No banners raised, just receipts and smoke. Sources aired it out, ain't no Win Street joke. ESPN confirmed it, they brought the light. This ain't blog talk, it's broadcast mic. Top booked in a 6, but cooked in a 6. Stadium lit, but you ghost in the mix. They scream not like us, anthem to the bone. While you backstage posting, feeling all alone. Crowds move like a riot in bloom. Meanwhile you vanished, ain't no room. He ain't this, he just showed up strong. That alone proved you been wrong all along. Toronto ain't ride for you when that cut deep. He threw over your fest plans in a panic sweep, but the J said nah, ain't no flip. And the Rogers Center kept the real script. Now you cozy with Morgan, that's the reply. Country vibes to distract while your numbers drop. Can't two-step from the heat in the booth. You can't stream away the uncomfortable truth. You say stadium for back-to-back pride. Now they gave the spotlight to the other side. Booked in the 6, but they ain't salute. They seen through the stunts, now you mute. You dipped from the 6, no fanfare left. Tried to align with a man who reeked of theft. One man walked in, crowd thunderclap. You backstage Googling how to get it back. Kite stream failed, distractions fell flat. While not like us went diamond off that. Now you a guest in the genre you led. Credibility buried, legacy hanging by thread. Paid out, booked in the 6, but cooked in the 6. Real rap spun back while you chase these tricks. Kendrick didn't even speak your name, but his silence turned the stadium flame. You cried for attention, begged for the spins, but now your catalog feeling like sins. Used to break charts, now you're trending decline. Lost the respect, lost the line. This what happens when egos steer your ride. You swerved in the wall, no place to hide. Tumors I dropped and nobody cared. Now your relevance flickers, feeling impaired. You once made kings, now you call to feed. Linking with artists with no moral creed. Morgan don't represent this side of art, but you'll shake his hand for a piece of chart. They warned you, the 6 warned you. You booked it with pride, but the people cooked it with truth. He ain't this, he just stood up tall, and your empire cracked like a crumbling wall. No post, no bar, just thunder and light. And you watch from Texas, no voice, no fight. A city don't forget, a crown don't last if it ain't earned. Booked in a 6, cooked in a 6. And next time, you won't even get the invite.